1. Hello, LifeVantage. This is Darren Jensen coming to you again from our broadcast area here at our corporate headquarters in Salt Lake City, Utah. Thank you for joining us today on the continuation of our Doctor Series. Today, we're going to focus on our True Science Beauty Care line. And this is a line that I'm really excited about. I've been in skincare and managing skincare lines for years. So definitely skincare is something near and dear to my heart. And today we have one of our fantastic doctors here with us. We have Dr. Rebecca Glasser. A little bit of bio on her. Dr. Glasser went to medical school at the University of North Carolina, and then she did her general surgery residency at the University of Florida in Gainesville. And just why I said that, Gainesville, I thought about Florida. Good luck to and safety to all of our Florida team members that are down in Central Florida. We know you've got a tropical storm on you right now, so take care of yourselves. She then went back to the University of North Carolina for plastic surgery residency, and she trained a total of 6 years. Her first job was at the University of Florida teaching medical students and residents, and she also had private practice in Jacksonville, Florida for 9 years. She then went out west to Colorado and worked at a hospital there because it was her dream to go west. And there she specialized in breast cancer reconstruction. She has 17 years of experience as a plastic surgery in her plastic surgery practice. And she's been with LifeVantage for 5 years. Now, something that is really fantastic too is in January, she left medicine to pursue LifeVantage full-time. So with that introduction, let me bring on Dr. Rebecca Glasser. Dr. Glasser, welcome. We're glad to have you with us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me to be on.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have our incredible physicians on, especially one that has had such a great career like yours in plastic surgery. And the first thing that I wanted to ask you about was, you left your medicine in January to pursue LifeVantage full-time. Can you tell us how you got to that point?
Absolutely. So, when I started with LifeVantage 5 years ago, I was still in Jacksonville and I still had a thriving plastic surgery practice. But, sometimes you just get approached at the right time, and it was the science that intrigued me. So I got involved. And then that little part-time job I was doing on the side with LifeVantage just grew and grew and grew. And luckily, as of November, I had some choices to make. So my little small hospital out here in Colorado had a lot of financial woes. And so I was brought into the boss's office and told that they were not renewing my contract. And for me, I had the choice of moving my family from my city or my state to another place to start over again, or embracing LifeVantage and making that my full-time job. So, I think we all are starting to realize there is no stability in any job that we do, and we never know what path that we're going to be put upon. And I'm just so thankful that I said yes to this opportunity 5 years ago that allowed me to make those tough choices.
Well, thank you for letting us know. And, I think that most people, as they think of, job security and long-time careers, they think of, well, if I'm a doctor, then, everything will run perfectly. But as I've talked to a lot of physicians, the schedule can be hectic and it's a very demanding career, and we're glad that you're with us full time now.
Well, I am too. I have to say it is a much better schedule. I don't have to work the same sort of nights and weekends and holidays. So I'm really enjoying the time freedom.
Well, good. All right. Well, today we brought you on as one of our plastic surgeons. We're talking about our True Science Beauty Care system. And what can you tell us about the True Science line? Why are you passionate about it?
Yeah, I absolutely love this line because so much of it came out of the same science base that our flagship product, Protandim Nerve 2, came about. And so what we realize is that our skin is the largest organ of our body, and it's exposed to all the toxins that our body is. So things like pollution and sunlight and cigarette smoke and everything else. And so our skin shows our aging. And so just as we would combat oxidative stress from the inside out using our Protandim line, we also want to do it from the outside in using our True Science skincare line.
Okay, thank you. Now, as you look at the True Science line, how would you say that it's different from other skincare regimens that you find out on the market?
Absolutely. So, there has been all kinds of different skincare lines, and you can imagine as a plastic surgeon, I've been approached by a few of those. If you look at things from the past, we use things like retinols and antioxidants to help exfoliate our skin to get rid of those dead layers, or we used antioxidants, but it's sort of the same sort of concept, this one and done. So when you go back to Protandim and you think about, well, wouldn't it be better if our skin could make more antioxidant enzymes than just making this one antioxidant at a time? It's a much better system. So it all goes back to oxidative stress and the science behind our products and NRF2 activation.
I think a lot of people, when they think of NRF2, they focus more on our Protandim line. And how does the topical NRF2 work in the True Science line?
Absolutely. So it is a lot of the same ingredients as we find in our Protandim NRF2. And so I want you to think about NRF2 as a protein messenger, and it's kind of running around your cells, and it's looking for insult or injury within the cells. And when it finds it, it goes back to the cellular nucleus or the command center of the cell. And it tells it, hey guys, we're having all this injury out there, this insult from sunlight and pollution. And so what it's doing is it's turning on our genes within our command center to fight off those toxins, things like anti-inflammatory enzymes, antioxidant enzymes. They're all going to work from a cellular level.
So I understand that you had a friend that tried the True Science line, and I've run into several people like this. They'll try it on half of their face, and I always joke that half of my face doesn't work, so I don't want to exacerbate that problem even more. But what did you see when that person just tried it on one half of their face?
Absolutely, and a big shout out to Paula Rollins for being such a good sport. She had agreed to try it on her face for about a month and only use it on half so that we could have a big skincare party or spa party afterwards. And so I, as the plastic surgeon, could then go over what were those differences. But she was going on this big trip to Aruba, so we actually made her do it for 6 weeks. So she was a really good sport. But what's so amazing to me is, we talked about it, what it's doing internally, but also externally. And she kind of went around and had everyone feel her face, feel how it was much more smooth and soft and supple. And when you looked at it, it was more luminous. It was brighter. It got rid of the fine lines and wrinkles. But to me, again, as a plastic surgeon, one of the things I liked most was the tightening effect. And I think in Paula's own words, she was very happy that she had lost her mother's jowl. And so on the one side, right along her jawline, you really could see that tightening effect as it was pulling up on that skin and making it tighter.
Okay, thank you for telling us about that. It seems like on one of the other doctor interviews I did, my son, he's doing an externship or an internship. He's on a break in between the university. He decided to go get a medical assisting, accelerated degree or whatever. And so he's doing his internship, and a lady walked in who was like 90 or 94. I can't remember the age. And he looked at her and was talking to her, and he said, for being 94, your skin looks awesome. And she said, well, I use this product line called True Science from LifeVantage. Have you ever heard of it? And my son's like, yeah, I think I've heard of that before. So it's, no matter where I go, I run into people that use our products, and it's incredible to hear their own personal results that they got from it. Now, did you ever use True Science products in your practice?
I did. And again, so much of it is related to the science behind it. Here in Colorado, we live in a beautiful place. We love to be outside, but we're very close to the sun. And so we have one of the highest skin cancer rates of anywhere in the country. So higher rates of basal cells, squamous cells, but also melanomas. And so much of what I did in plastic surgery was looking at a lot of these skin cancers to try and prevent them. But in addition to that, I was doing a cosmetic practice where people were coming in for eye lifts or facelifts. And I always try and think of things as what can we do from a non-invasive standpoint first. And so if we start with a skincare line and we can get improvements from that, we always want to do that first before we go to more invasive things like Botox or fillers or even surgery. But in addition to that, I found that if I could put my patients on True Science 2 months before their facelift, their skin was much easier to work with. It had better wound healing, less bruising, less swelling. It just did better. And so, again, I wanted to make myself look better and have better results. So I put them on the skincare line first.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I'll just say here, and hopefully we'll post it, that we're not making any medical claims.
You're not making any claims that this cure mitigates or treats disease.
Yep, that's the one bit, but it is a great product for sure. Now, as far as the results, you talked about some of those results that you were seeing. About how long did they have to use it before they started to see these results? You mentioned that you put them on for at least 6 weeks, but what's been your experience as a doctor and
right.
people that have been trying it?
Yeah, so I think with any sort of skincare regimen, you really want to give it 3 to 4 months to really see those effects. Your skin is in a cycle just like your hair or your cells in your body. And so whether you're taking Protandim Nerf 2 or Nerf 1 or using our skincare line, you really need to see it 3 or 4 months to see those results. And then remember, those results improve over time. And so this is, part of prevention. This is how we're continuing to fight the aging process. Now,
as a physician, I know that at least when I deal with physicians, normally I shouldn't say deal. That sounds like a kind of weird word. When I interact with physicians, I know that they're always looking for scientific information. They're looking for studies. What are some of the studies that were done on True Science that have been important for you, or things that you looked at?
Right, and so some of the ones done specifically on True Science looked at our product, our skincare regimen versus retinol. And for those of you who've been in skincare for a long time, retinol has just been around forever. It was certainly a big part of my practice. The problems with retinol, again, it works as an exfoliant. You get redness and flaking and itching and dryness and all of those side effects to eventually get you to where you want to go. So what we found in a study was that our True Science skincare products actually beat out retinol. So that was really exciting. In addition to that, we did some studies looking at the depth of penetration, because so many of the things that you might buy over the counter only penetrate the surface. They're only hitting that very superficial layer of the skin. But if you think about your skin, it's made up of multiple layers. There's the epidermis, which is the very top layer, and below that is your dermal layer, which has all the appendages in it. It has all the important cells in it. And what we found was that True Science skincare regimen penetrates all the way down to the deep dermal layer. And for those of you who are science geeks out there, once we've gotten that regimen in place, we see these beautiful little plump, happy cells all lined up. And so we know that it's doing our job at the cellular level.
Now, in addition to studies, I see a lot of information by other manufacturers or sometimes on advertisements about, sometimes they're advertising more about what they don't put into a product than what they actually have in the product. How does that apply to True Science?
Absolutely. So again, just like you said, it's what you put in, but it's also what you leave out. And so you want to leave out the sulfates, the parabens. You want to make it gluten free. You don't want to add in petroleum or other things that are going to seal the skin and not allow it to breathe. And so our company did a wonderful job in making sure that we left out those things in our skincare line in order for it to do its job.
Okay, thank you. Also, I know that you've went to great lengths to assemble a lot of the information in easy-to-read formats so that it can be accessed. And don't you have that on a website that you manage?
I do. And so just as we're doing this Facebook Live, I also have a business page, which is called A Plastic Surgeon's Guide to Reverse the Signs of Aging. And so again, I try and put studies on there and other important articles about improving your health. And so I would love more followers. So you guys take a look at that.
All right. Now, one thing that really intrigued me, and this isn't quite on True Science, but as a company, we're trying to encourage and work with our field force to use social media more, because I see social media, it gives you a platform that you can communicate to thousands and tens of thousands and potentially millions of people very quickly. And I was looking for examples of good ways of doing this, and then whammo, I saw this posting that you did of your dog, I think Oscar. It's funny, I had a dog named Oscar too, so it was, but you put something on there of Oscar, and I looked at it and I said, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and maybe how you use social media?
Right. And so actually I have to credit that with Dr. David Thompson, who's a vet, and he was really looking for a good example of an older dog to see the effects of our product Pet Tandem. And so I got the videos from him and I shared it on social media, and it went viral. We had 415 different shares. I had people asking me questions from around the world. I'm looking forward to when we can get Pet Tandem in the United Kingdom, because I've had some people contact me from over there. But again, I think that this whole concept of social sharing is huge as we look at this in not just our own network of friends and family, but as we extend that out. It's a great way in order to get information out there and teach people and educate people about the science behind our products. And one thing I showed that to Ryan Goodwin, our CMO, and as we were talking about it, he's like, man, she could attach a little link onto that video and go right into her shopping cart, and she could put 2 Pet Tandems in it, and anyone that clicked on that link could buy it directly from her, and it would already be right into her shopping cart. And yeah, so definitely ways of encouraging and getting more preferred customers. I mean, it was a great video. We all enjoyed it, and I've seen a few comments, and I've had a lot of people comment to me that you did a great job on that. So congratulations. Well, we're coming to the end of our time. Just wanted to ask you one other question. Again, finally, if you could summarize the key things when you're approached about using True Science, what do you think it's important for the average person who isn't a doctor to tell people about it? I mean, if you were to give, this is kind of a tough question, but if you were to give kind of an elevator pitch to somebody, what would you say about True Science and why you should take it? Right. I mean, I think it's the important part to understand. It always goes back to the science, as it does with any of our products. And so, what people have to remember is we're category creating. We're the only Nerf 2 patented skincare line that's out there. So just as you want to reverse aging on the inside of your body, you want to do it on the outside too. You know, you're going to go to different markets. You're going to have some people who see the effects of this as, well, this is something for health prevention. But you're going to have plenty of people out there who just want to look younger and feel younger. And so our line stands out. It's the best thing out there. Price point wise, it's a great price point. It's now you're able to take it on TSA, so you can take it on trips with you. And it has free shipping. So all of the things about our skincare, it makes it one of my favorite products to sell, and it's been great for my team. So I encourage you to have a skincare party and try it out yourself, so everyone can feel it on their own.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Glasser. As always, a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to share with all of us your knowledge and your wisdom on our True Science beauty line.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
All right. So thank you, and thank you to everyone that's joined us today for the broadcast. And we look forward to seeing you a little bit later this week. We've got additional broadcasts on our movers and shakers, as well as our leaders coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. So again, Dr. Glasser, thank you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.